Welcome back to Book Break. Today I am here with a very special guest. This is Zoe from Read by Zoe.
Hi!
And we are going to be talking about the fabulous new YA release Flawed, which is written by 7 UK YA authors. They wrote this book all together and they are all friends, which is really lovely. And the book itself is all about friendship. So the premise of this book starts with 6 teenagers stuck in a lift together when something very dramatic happens. A 7th person gets into the lift and very sadly dies. Not a great start to a friendship, but somehow it does bond them all together. They all become friends. And for the rest of the book, we meet these characters once every year and see where they're up to with their lives and how their friendship is going.
I really want to know which authors wrote which characters and how they all came together. 7 people, I can't even like manage a group chat, like trying to get people all in one place like for dinner or something, but writing a book together. A whole book. Does one person write theirs and the other people try to fit it in like a puzzle piece?
Yeah, or like that game where you write a sentence and then fold it over. Was it kind of like that?
Yeah.
The authors have written a blog post about their writing experience and it just sounds like it was so much fun. Like they all talk about supporting each other so much. Melinda Salisbury even said that it was like Ocean's 8, like that they were just a team like, pulling off a heist but like writing a book instead.
How do you figure out like if you're able to write a book with someone else?
How do you know you're going to be compatible? You might have totally different ideas because all writers are different and like that's a good thing that you all have different methods. Some people plan a lot more, but like in this you all have to plan the exact same amount because you can't have one person who like knows what's happening and someone else is like, I'll see.
I wonder if they wrote in a Google Doc or something.
I feel like they could like go and change each other and be like, no, I don't want that.
Like put those
my character would never do that.
Those snarky comments on the side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's another thing. They're from the different perspectives, but they also include the characters of the other people. So they decide what the other characters are going to do.
Yeah. It used to be weird reading someone else's chapter where they include your character and you'd be like, I write Hugo and I know that he's not like that.
Hugo's a jerk, how dare you make him do
Don't give him a nice thing. I just love it as a concept. I think it's really cool. Who was your favourite character?
Ooh. Joe?
He was sweet.
I always liked the sweet, but I enjoyed reading Hugo's chapters.
Yeah.
Oh, the early Hugo chapters.
It was fun to hate him.
Where he's like, oh, this girl's a 7. Like, oh no.
Yeah, when you first meet him, he's terrible. I think my favourite was maybe Dawson. Whichever writer wrote him was really funny. So Dawson is a child actor who's like was previously famous but has now anti-long-bottomed. Like that was
the worst phrase
I love. So funny. And he's like described as having Neville'd down, which I thought was so funny and so brutal.
So brutal.
So I think for that reason I liked reading it, just because I was like, this is mean. So the central thing about this book that I liked so much is the portrayal of the friendship group. I thought it was really realistic. Hippo agrees. She also thinks that they were really good friends. There's kind of friendships within it. There's like mini friendships within the group as well as them being all a group together, which I really like. So I felt like that's realistic.
I feel like that's with any group. You have like deeper connections with, you can have the same deep connection with everybody in the big group.
This did such a good job of like actually feeling like a real friendship group and having ups and downs.
They even mentioned that like several of them say that they've been texting more and more like throughout the year.
What are their secret texts about? And I feel kind of left out. I thought I was in the group.
So rude.
Why are you texting without me?
It kind of reminded me of online friendships in a way because they do talk through WhatsApp, I think, which I just learned what WhatsApp is. This is how it's like with my online friendships, especially like through BookTube, is that I'm bonding like with you, like through books.
Yeah.
And you understand like a different part of my life that like my in real life friends don't really understand.
Yeah, definitely. I like that because it's such a new thing, people having online friends in the same way and it being kind of considered normal because a few years ago it was a bit scary having friends online.
Stranger danger.
Don't trust the internet, and now it's such a normal thing. So I was reading that the authors themselves have a WhatsApp group. To write the WhatsApp messages in this, they would kind of all be online in real time to write out the conversations.
Yeah.
Which I love, because it did feel really authentic. And obviously the fact that they actually were forming those friendships between them like helped make it feel really authentic.
And they each have such distinct texting styles. I feel like a lot of the times when people write text messages or the online conversations, they all pretty much sound the same, especially they use like abbreviations
that young people don't do.
Yes, this seemed like people actually having a conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I will see you later with like the 8 and all of that.
Yeah. What do you think brings them together as a group?
I feel the fact that they want a deeper connection, that the people in their lives haven't really seen a special something in them that the other people have seen. So like all of them are misunderstood. They're 15 at the beginning.
Yeah, 15, 16.
Yes, and that's a time when you're very insecure. You're trying on a different persona, not sure what you really want to do with your life. And so this is a perfect time for them to meet and then like see more of the world than just their little communities.
Yeah.
So I think that's what brings them together.
Yeah, they kind of help each other grow into the person they actually want to be, instead of who their background has kind of shaped them into thinking that they want to be, or like trying to be.
Some people it's great to grow up with and like see how you all change, but it's great to meet new people from different backgrounds, like different socioeconomic classes and different family dynamics. This shows that you need different mindsets, different backgrounds to become like a fully realized person.
You know, they all have very different life experiences, which I like. There's a queer character, there's a character who's losing her sight.
That's part of why they stayed friends for so long, because they saw like a different part of themselves.
Do you think that they will stay friends forever?
I think so, especially because it's an online friendship. Online friendships can survive through moves and all of that, because you can always come back to the internet. You don't move away from the internet.
Exactly, we never leave. You know, I like to sort of imagine what they're gonna do. Like, some of them will kind of have like the friendships have transferred to real life, and that those will become stronger and like stay, but that they, as a 6, will continue to have this like just checking in on each other, like support system.
Exactly.
Friendship. It's lovely. So do give this video a thumbs up if you like books about friendship. I really recommend Flawed. It's a lot of fun. And thank you so much to Zoe for being on this channel.
No problem. I had a lot of fun.
Good. And do subscribe to Book Break for new videos every Thursday. Next week on Book Break, we're going to be hearing from Holly Ringland, the Australian author, all about the language of flowers. So do subscribe so you don't miss that one. See you next time. Bye.